On behalf of the members of CAADP-XP4 Program Advisory Committee, Dr. Enoch Warinda of ASARECA, Dr. Yemi Akimamajo of FARA, Professor Clive Lamy of CAADESA, Dr. Salim Nadi of AFAAS, and Dr. Abdul Denku of CORAF, of the CAADP-XP4 Program, and on behalf of the NARS, I'm pleased to present highlights of the achievements of the multi-stakeholder partnership realized in 5 years of implementing the CAADP-XP4 program by ASARECA, CAADESA, FARA, CORAF, AFAAS, and the NARS. As part of the European Commission's support to Africa's agricultural development program under the Development Smart Innovation through Research in Agriculture, the CERA framework, the EU provided a grant of 24 million euros to ASARECA, CORAF, FARA, and African Forum for Agricultural Advisory Services, AFAAS, and Center for Coordination of Agricultural Research for Southern Africa, CAADESA, in March 2019 to implement the comprehensive African Agricultural Development CAADP-XP4 program. The program and funds are managed by IFAD. The program has a very clear objectives. One is to strengthen the operational capacity of the 5 organizations. 2 is to improve collaboration within and among the national, sub-regional, and continental agricultural research and extension organizations. 3 is to promote policy enhancement in agriculture, research, and innovation. 4 is to create climate-relevant innovations. 5 is to promote investments and market linkages. And 6 is to enhance knowledge generation and dissemination in support of decision-making, advocacy, and innovation sharing. The ultimate beneficiaries of this program comprise resource-poor and smallholder farmers, rural youth and women entrepreneurs, pastoralists, as well as the marginalized, vulnerable communities in African countries. It is worth noting that strong partnership with the European organizations and networks is central to the implementation of this particular program. This paper therefore highlights key achievements of the program to date. With respect to strengthening the capacity of the XP4 institutions and that of their partners to deliver their agriculture for research mandate, for development mandate, the program, 1, facilitated the conducting of capacity gap assessments where critical gaps were identified and addressed using the capacity strengthening plan. 2, established state-of-the-art institutional support systems such as financial management, monitoring and evaluation, and knowledge management. 3, developed continental and regional climate-smart agricultural maps and policy briefs. And 4, enhanced capacities of staff and partners in critical skills such as audit, accounting, agricultural policy, and agricultural policy analysis. In addition, regarding establishment and strengthening of multi-stakeholder partnership for innovation, the program, 1, strengthened collaboration with regional economic communities, African Union Commission, and the EU partner organizations to enhance agricultural trade and markets and support member countries in their biennial review reporting. Secondly, established and strengthened regional climate-smart agricultural alliances such as the ASARECA Climate Smart Agriculture Alliance and West African Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture to coordinate scattered climate-smart agricultural initiatives in the region, as well as promote and increase adoption of climate-smart technologies, innovations, and management practices. 3, it strengthened capacities of smallholder farmers along selected value chains to adopt and disseminate technologies. And 4, implemented jointly resource mobilization efforts that led to new bilateral projects, for example, the ART, the Soil Health Initiative, and the D-Africa, that is Digital Earth Africa. 5, developed bases of African agricultural experts that has facilitated sharing of expertise within the region. 6, established platforms for engaging the private sector in commercialization and agricultural technologies, for example, the ASARECA Private Sector Forum. 7, facilitated generation of exchange of technologies, innovations, and management practices in member countries, including production of biosolutions. Furthermore, regarding formulation of policies that support climate-relevant agriculture and food systems transformation, as well as increasing investments and strengthening advocacy and market linkages, the program advocated for necessary agricultural trade policy reforms, such as inclusion of climate indicators in the CAADP biannual review process and country national agricultural investment plans. It also enhanced capacity of policymakers and key stakeholders in climate-relevant agricultural policy formulation and analysis, as well as negotiation during international climate meetings, such as the COP. The capacity of policymakers were also enhanced in application of climate foresight data in policy formulation and implementation. And 3, developed action plans and strategies for integration of gender in climate-smart agriculture activities and policies. 4, submitted a list of climate-relevant policy reforms to the African Union Commission for dialogue and endorsement. 5, enhanced capacity of several stakeholders in application of climate foresight data in agricultural policy implementation and planning in their day-to-day decision-making and policy processes. Moreover, with respect to knowledge management and communication program, it supported the development of communication and knowledge management strategies in countries to aid the generation, processing, and dissemination of knowledge products and research outputs. 2, it strengthened national knowledge management systems by creating interoperable knowledge platforms such as the ASARECA Knowledge Hub, FARA Data Informs, and the ASAL Knowledge Hub. 3, it increased visibility of CAADP-XP4 consortium members and their national and global partners through events and media platforms. And it strengthened the capacities of knowledge management leads from the National Agricultural Research Institutes aimed at mainstreaming knowledge management in the delivery of research outputs. Finally, the program implemented a robust monitoring and evaluation system that effectively guided the planning, coordination, and reporting at all levels. As I conclude, it is my prayer that the European Union considers a second phase of the CAADP-XP4 program to scale up and to scale out benefits that have been realized. I'm convinced that the strengthened capacities and resources of the 14 or currently 15 member countries will contribute to resilient food systems and sustainable impacts on the farmers' livelihoods. I thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Eliud Kireger. Now, the coordination mechanism is extremely important, and I think it is good that these values are explained without technical jargons, and let's see how this has been played out in the CAADESA region, in the ASARECA region, in the AFAAS community, in the community of practice, and from the FARA's perspective, what is it that we can really put on the table as the core values that drives the coordination work? Podisi, if you will.
Thank you, Dr. Yemi, for a good question. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I'm speaking on behalf of the CAADP-XP4 Consortium, myself, coming from the CAADESA region, which is an equivalent organization to ASARECA, but for Southern Africa, the Center for Coordination of Agricultural Research and Development for Southern Africa, CAADESA. We are part of the consortium, and CAADESA, in its establishment, its key role is to facilitate cooperation among SADC member states on issues to do with agricultural research and development. Because of that mandate that we've been given by the SADC member states, we are able to convene the relevant stakeholders to engage them on issues that are relevant for our region. And under the CAADP-XP4 program, we got an opportunity to go beyond our region by working together as agricultural institutions within our respective geographical mandates to learn from each other and to leverage on our strengths, and also to reduce duplication of effort. For example, about the promotion of these technologies, which are in most cases similar for our different ecologies. We also took advantage to pull our efforts in terms of resource mobilization by engaging our different partners. For example, we also mobilize resources, not necessarily financial, but also in kind or in terms of technical expertise. For example, we routinely engage with the 1CG centers. This 1CG consortium of the international research centers, they do have regional initiatives, regional integrated initiatives that the CAADP-XP4 members have been engaging with to help to promote the outputs of such investments. We have also used this to mobilize funding for our programs. For example, Dr. Yemi, in his presentation, he mentioned new programs or projects that arose as a result of our engagement. For example, the ATIA project, Digital Earth Africa, which is an Australian-funded initiative which is implemented by Digital Earth Africa, based in South Africa, promoting the use of Earth observation. We have also new program which the CG centers and CAADESA and other SROs, FARA and AFAAS, have been working jointly to look into the issue of the soil health. The soil health initiative for Africa.
If you may spare the details.
Which will also lead to a commitment which will be done by the SADC and of course also the African member states. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Podisi. One of the key elements driving us, because I don't want my panelists to repeat you, we've been driven by three elements, and we in FARA we put it this way: it's working together, pulling together, delivering together, and that is the spirit behind the XP4. Now, my next panelist, Max, you guys have a continental mandate to drive innovation to the last mile. Can you tell us a little bit how this is working out in the context of the XP4 coalition? Now, you will have no more than 2 minutes, and the same goes for the other people, because we're running low on time. My apologies for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the moderator. First of all, AFAAS, the African Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services, the genesis was about the chain is as strong as it is weakest link. As you are aware, in the decades of agricultural research and development, the farmers continue to open their mouth and the thoughts about the reach to the last mile. So this consortium brings a new perspective. Firstly, I think we have proved that the concept of working together is really true, because we are all here as the 5 institutions on the same platform. Originally, this would not be the real case. Otherwise, I think maybe we would be having 2 people. But from AFAAS, where we're coming from extension point of view, we've seen ourselves very much embedded into research and development. And this is a very big achievement in terms of reaching the last mile and working with the farmers. The other most important thing that I have to mention here is that in the years back, we could find a lot of research happening. The extension is doing their own thing. Now everybody was trying to reach different parts, and there was no synergy. Now with the CAADP-XP, with the spirit that we're developing, we're trying to ensure that there's synergy, we are reaching the clients together, but most importantly, we put the resources, both human, financial, together, because we don't want to see a lot of duplication. Neither do we want to just generate technologies which are remaining on the shelf and not reach the farmers. So we bring that perspective. I think in 2014, again, our gratitude to Her Excellency Rhoda, that we're able to sign an MOU with the African Union Commission. And she was very passionate to see that AFAAS is growing, and AFAAS will be linking so strongly with the SROs and FARA. And we want to report that with that effort, we are good enough to go.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Max. I'll now revert to ASARECA once again. Moses, if you will, let us into how this is unfolding in the ASARECA geography. I spoke about the 3 biggest challenges confronting Africa and Africans: the challenges of climate change, the challenge of technologies, and of markets and policies. How is this working out in the context of the great work of the XP4?
Thank you so much, Dr. Yemi. Within the ASARECA sub-region, we recognize the challenge of climate change. Yes, it has affected all sectors of the agriculture. And because of that, we positioned ourselves to address this particular issue. We have established what we call ASARECA Climate Smart Agriculture Alliance, that is comprised of stakeholders from ASARECA 14 member countries. This particular alliance is acting as a vehicle for scaling up technologies, climate smart agriculture technologies, in order to be able to address or mitigate against the challenge of climate change within the member countries. This alliance is also acting as a platform for capacity strengthening of our stakeholders, so that then when we build their capacities, they will then be able to uptake or utilize the various technologies that are being generated, climate smart technologies that are being generated, to be able to mitigate, again, the impacts of climate change. Not only that, but also this alliance is acting as a platform for resource mobilization. We need to mobilize resources to be able to generate new technologies, new climate smart technologies, to address this particular challenge of climate change. With regards to markets, we are engaging our private sector. We are working closely with the private sector. We've established what we call ASARECA Private Sector Network, that is bringing different private sector entities from the 14 member countries to be able to see how we can commercialize the existing technologies that have been generated, and also be able to link the farmers to the markets. And we also recognize that weak policy environment is also a challenge, because then we cannot adequately be able to move technologies from one country to another country if we do not have a favorable enabling policy environment. And so in this regard, we're beginning to engage with the different stakeholders to start talking about this issue of coming up with harmonized regional policies that can then allow us to be able to move technologies across national boundaries. We're also working with extension agencies to be able to see how we can be able to transfer technologies from the researchers' shelves to the last mile stakeholders. Because the challenge is not really the technologies, but the technologies are there. The problem is how do we be able to move these technologies to the end users? So in brief, that's what we're doing. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Moses. Because you are the host, I didn't want to stop you. Now on to FARA. As a Nigerian that I am, we have a proverb that says, if you are given the whole, you use it to your advantage. While I'm here, I want to ask my dear brother, what do you have to say first about the Durban event that is bringing all the XP4 fraternity together? And in the light of that, please say a little word, give a short word on the coordination mechanism that FARA does. But first, let's talk about Durban in the context of XP4, and then what it is that FARA brings to the table in terms of the coordination mechanism of the XP4. Aggrey.
Thank you very much. Durban. Durban is the venue for the 8th Africa Agribusiness and Science Week. It will take place from the 5th to the 8th of June. And you are all invited. The theme of this event is linking business to science, linking business with science in agriculture for resilient food systems. So that is the commercial we have for our Science Week. The Science Week that FARA hosts, this particular edition, the 8th, is co-organized with CAADPX, because CAADPX is hosting us. It's happening in their region, in Southern Africa, and also co-organized with the government of South Africa, the Ministry of Agriculture.
Right, thank you very much. But I want now to say a short word on what is it that the continent derive from the XP4? What are we offering them? We are a network of networks as FARA, but how does this play out in terms of the coordination of agricultural research and innovation on the continent? How is it that FARA becomes the one-stop shop that then cascades to the SROs, then to the NARS? How is that working out?
Yes, FARA is the continental organization that was created by the sub-regional organizations, which were in turn created by the national research organizations. So that is the architecture that we have. We have at the continental level, at the sub-regional level, and at the national level. FARA would therefore, because it's the apex, has been mandated to do the coordination at the continental level, where everybody at the other levels fits. So that's one. The second is we are working in an innovation system where research works with extension, with education, with policy, private sector, producers, all the elements of the innovation system. it's very essential for an innovation system to function that it has a convener. So FARA has been accepted as a convener at the continental level of the continental innovation system. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Aggrey. Well, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, much as we would have loved to engage with the panelists a little bit more, unfortunately, I do not have the luxury of the time to do that. The schedule is very much a little bit in disarray, and we're trying to keep up with the time to gain the grounds that we lost in the beginning. So I would like to bring these panel discussion to a close. I think we've got a flavor of what the XP4, just in case we hear XP4, and you wonder what does this mean? It simply means that these are the representative institutions from the former Pillar 4 institutions. So I'd like to give back the microphone to my brother, the Master of Ceremonies, but please first give a round of applause to my panelists, and I invite them to take their seats. And thank you very much.